Howdy all, Nurse Dude back. Excuse any type of aircraft noises you might hear, but I wanted to talk about an interesting subject, the purpose and uses of general purpose pouches. Obviously, on your rig or on your plate carrier, you might have a general purpose pouch like this one. I honestly can't remember who this is made by. I'll link it down on the bottom, but it's a very nice pouch. It's got a little bit extra MOLLE at the bottom. I normally end up putting a tourniquet down there, like so. I just don't have this one currently being used on my plate carrier, but we'll get that, my chest rig, but we'll get to that later. So general use, got some budgies in it and everything. So you typically have either like a set of gloves or things in there like that. But I wanted to talk about how the importance of having empty pouches and or negative space, so to speak, on your chest rig is or on your carrier, and how it actually might be a good thing to have pouches that are not carried full of stuff. Obviously less weight, but specifically as an example here on mine, where I have this Spiritus System, just a pouch. Granted, it's got my knife in it and other things like that. I currently have my night vision stowed in it. So this being said, I normally just keep a pair of gloves in here, but for example, if I needed to do something like a extended recon that might go into the night, and or an ambush or an overall patrol that is an unknown time frame, I could either drop my pack if I knew it was going to be a short mission and be able to stow important sensitive items in here, such as my night vision and my night vision arm. And generally, I'm not really a fan of keeping your night vision's arm on your helmet, but in this case, because I would be space limited, I'd probably leave it on there. It's not that big of a deal. But moving forward, or if you had to, you're knowing that you're going to go into movement into contact, you can stick extra magazines in here too and still be able to maneuver, close it, and then do what you need to do. So that's kind of a reason why I think having a open pouch and or a pouch that doesn't really have anything in it being important. Also, this would kind of pertain to your dump pouch too. It's open pouch, and dump pouches are not just for your spent magazines like we've spoken before. It's for sensitive items or mission essential equipment that you might need to pick up. For me, I might stick a couple IV bags in there, or I could potentially stick extra tourniquets or other things like that. So with that being said, we can look at the wife's chest rig here, and we can kind of do a little bit of analysis on it. So most likely, just due to how we do things at our house, she probably doesn't need more than 3 mags, maybe 4. So what we'll do here in a second, and I'll do this off camera so you don't have to hear all the Velcro, crunching around and everything. We are going to take the pouch that I originally had, and we're going to stick it over here where she has her radio and the tourniquet. Most likely, I'm going to move the tourniquet to the bottom spot right here, and then with the radio I'm going to scab off of this rear magazine pouch and put it in there. So that way we get a little bit different setup, but still it's totally functional and probably a little bit better organized. So that way she has a little bit of negative space so we can stick some other things in here. So after the break I will do that and we'll see how it goes. All right, we're back, and I will fully admit I was fighting with this thing way too long. Anyways, so now that we have it all set out, we can kind of look at it again. Yes, she lost a magazine, and we moved the radio a little bit closer, so that might be not a bad thing, and this is a little more in line with the straps, and we might be able to tie it down once I put the shoulder straps back on. But we also gained the ability to have here a general purpose pouch that is now empty. So what we can do with this is that we could put our night vision in it if we had to, gloves or other things, and like before, if I had to, we could also press in a couple magazines. So ultimately, yes, she may have lost a slot for a dedicated magazine, but ultimately the ability to expand on this as needed is much better. Nothing will ever be perfect, as we find out in life later on, but at the same time, we can adapt and we can kind of change things as we need. So that's kind of my little soapbox on why you need a pouch that is empty, or 1 or 2. Same thing with your backpack. You don't need 50 pounds worth of crap in your backpack when in all reality you could get only away with like 20. In all realities, You want the minimum amount of things that you can do in order to accomplish what you need. And otherwise, you can adapt and kind of change things as you go. Because I don't know about you guys, but my knees and my back and my shoulder are not as good as they used to be. If you're 23 and do what you want, but us older guys kind of need to be able to be a little bit wiser about what we carry. So make sure you got a little bit of empty negative space. I will talk to you guys later.